And so then just briefly, you were asking about what I meant with we can't read minds and people aren't perfect. And that's just that space of, well, I heard them say this. Is that what they meant? You need to have that space to wait your first reaction. Oh, they said this. Instead of reacting on that, clarify. Is
Mhm.
that what you meant? Well, what about this scenario? Just being able to walk down that path, and then sort of on the flip side of being like, well, am I holding like an unfair standard of purity? Like let's say I listen to a particular podcaster all the time, and if I listened with, my opponent's ears, they would hear all sorts of things that are like red flags and like, well, this guy's saying things that are really unhealthy and really unhelpful. And I just sort of let them pass by because I'm like, okay, whatever. I like the things that I like, and I'm not taking the rest seriously. Like, whatever my attitude is, I hear that and that's fine. But then I hear this other person, and me calling out the little minutia of what they're saying. Is that is that fair? Am I actually pursuing justice? Am I pursuing help, or am I being dictatorial and nitpicky of a way that I wouldn't practice on myself and people who agree with me? And so there's those levels of people aren't perfect. Like, we're not all, we talked about this last time, we're not all able to be in therapist mode all the time. We can't, like you guys were saying, at the end of a long shift or whatever it is, we can't always be the person who handles everything perfectly and make sure everyone is heard and perfectly addressed, and we just can't get it perfect. We can't do it all ourselves, even though every single time that we don't, someone potentially gets hurt and things move closer to disunion, to misunderstanding, to people feeling fed up. And then that ties into the resiliency of how do you stand the fact that we're imperfect and we can't fix the world on our own? How do we stand the fact that someone didn't hear me the way I wanted them to, and they have this view of me now, and maybe I never have a chance to fix that? All those things are imperfections that, if you just focus on them and you just meditate on that, well, any one of them can expand into ultimate conflict. Any one of them could spell sort of the disaster that we all fear, uh, if we just let stuff like that compound. But we need this resiliency to be able to say, yes, there's imperfection. Yes, there's uncomfortability. There is a level of conflict, but we actually have the strength, the capacity to harbor that conflict, to get through it, and to hopefully address enough of it to keep us a lower simmer, and I think not deny the simmer. I don't think it'd be helpful and usually to deny the simmer, but instead of just letting it build and build and build and focusing on it, having a strength that allows us to bear those injustices, small scale injustices. Let's say, of people misunderstanding you, mislabeling you, using words you don't agree with, whatever it is. So that's all encompassing of where I was trying to get with the sort of two sides of, you can't read minds. You don't know what someone's intentions are, even though sometimes you actually do have to assume intentions. And people aren't perfect and they need time to vent, and you're not always the person for them to vent. So it is this complicated morass, and it is difficult and whatnot.